Could it be? With me, your man, Louie Tee. Welcome. You are here in the lab room. This is Louie Tee Live. I, of course, am your host, Louie Tee. Thank you for joining me as I continue to break down every single game in week 3 of the preseason in the National Football League. We're talking Carolina Panthers, who were hosting the New England Patriots in this football game. And man, was this some ugly football. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, I want to talk about all the ways you can contact the show if you happen to be watching out there. You can, first and foremost, if you're new to the channel, welcome, and please subscribe to the channel LouieTeeNetwork on YouTube. A lot of great content on the channel and a lot more to come in 2016. Also, please, if you are on Twitter, at In the Lab Room is the Twitter handle. Like or follow me on Twitter, like the Facebook page. In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. So if you're watching the video live, you're in the comment section, you want to leave a comment to address me, to have it read on the show, please use the hashtag LouieTeeLive. Same applies for Twitter. You're on Twitter. At In the Lab Room is the Twitter handle. The hashtag is LouieTeeLive to have your comment read here on this program live on the air. Same with Facebook. In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. Like it and so forth. So, Carolina Panthers and the New England Patriots. I want to get right into this breakdown of this football game. I had a chance to look at essentially the entire game because Panthers kept their starters in almost 3 full quarters. So I want to really talk about what I saw in this game and the takeaways from this game. So I want to get into something like I like to call likes, dislikes, banana in the tailpipe. Like, dislike, banana in the tailpipe.
What y'all, the second team?
We're the first team.
Yeah, we're not going to fall for a banana in the tailpipe.
You're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
All right, so I want to break this game down, talk about the things that I saw. We're going to start with the road team as I customarily do. Start with the Patriots in this football game. Things that I liked in this game from the Patriots. I thought the secondary was outstanding. Logan Ryan had an early INT. He was in perfect position on wide receiver Kelvin Benjamin. Cam Newton threw the football to the inside. Really didn't give Benjamin a chance to go up and get it. And Logan Ryan was in great position, great hands to go and get the football, pluck it out of the air. I thought the secondary was phenomenal because, to be honest with you, the pass rush was lacking. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But the secondary held up all night long for the New England Patriots. I think that's going to be one of the strengths of this football team is that secondary. I think both of their corners are really good. And you saw that on this night. They really were in the hip pocket of those big Carolina Panthers receivers. Trey Flowers looks active, okay? This is a guy that the Patriots drafted, I want to say 2 years ago out of Arkansas, if I'm not mistaken. And he looks good, man. He was very active around the line of scrimmage. Not necessarily getting a lot of pressure, but he was in the backfield on the running plays. And again, another one of these guys that I liked coming out of Arkansas that I think can help this Patriots team moving forward. And so he piqued my interest in this game. I like what I saw out of Trey Flowers. Again, very active around the line of scrimmage. Looking forward to seeing what he can do for this Patriots team moving forward. The turnovers in this game forced by the Patriots, phenomenal. McCourty had a pick. You had Logan Ryan with a pick. You also had a pick by Harmon as well. So they were able to generate turnovers in that first half via interceptions, really making life miserable for the Carolina Panthers offensively. And again, they did a lot of this without a consistent pass rush. Cam Newton had all day to throw, yet they were in the hip pocket of these receivers. They were getting their hands on footballs. They were making the Panthers pay, turning them over. So I thought they really did some good things in this football game defensively. The run game, I was surprised that they were able to run the football as effectively, especially with Jimmy G in the game. Knowing that Jimmy Garoppolo isn't a threat to really hurt you with his arm, I expected them to really load up and stop them in the run game. Yet Tyler Gaffney, an ex-Carolina Panther, one of their 7th-round picks from a few years ago, he was hurting them in the run game on the ground early. LeGarrette Blount did some nice things on the ground as well. Once Brady came into the game, I was actually surprised the Patriots were able to run the football as effectively as they were. So kudos to the Patriots and we know this is what the Patriots do. This is their bread and butter. Week to week, the game plan can change at a moment's notice. One week, Brady can sling it 52 times. The very next week, they could run it 52 times as a team. Whatever they need to do to win a football game is what they do. You saw it in this game. They ran the football very effectively. I didn't know they had that in them against this type of front, but yet they were successful on the ground. Cyrus Jones, that's my last like in this game. Man, does he look good on punt returns. He was stellar at Alabama returning punts, had about 4 touchdowns in the punt return game at Alabama last year, and he looks like a guy that's going to break 1 or 2 this year for the Patriots. Almost broke 2 in this game, almost broke 1 for a touchdown, had another one that was close to breaking off to the other side of the field. So Cyrus Jones looks damn good as a returner, and if the Patriots can get anything out of their returns game, that's just going to give them an even better opportunity to survive without Brady in that first 4-game stretch of the season. So Cyrus Jones looks like a dangerous return man at this point. He looked good in this game versus the Carolina Panthers. Let's go to my dislikes for this Panthers football team. For me, I start with Jimmy G. Unimpressed, and you found out very quickly in this game, this is not the Chicago Bears. Everybody was like, oh, he'll be fine. It's dink and dunk, check down city. He can use his legs. I was talking to my man Ofo about Jimmy G. I was talking to him about the pass rush. I was talking about a lot of things with this Patriots football team, and I'm not impressed with Jimmy G. I said when I broke down the Patriots in the AFC East division that I didn't see the Patriots winning any of those games without Brady, and this didn't change my mind. Now, again, I think they're going to be closer to winning 2 of those games than the 0-4 that I have them down as. But look, you're going to be playing defenses similar to the one you saw in this football game. You're going to be playing an Arizona Cardinals defense on the road. That's probably not going to end well for this Patriots football team. You're going to be playing a Houston Texans defense that is one of the best in the league. You're going to be playing a Dolphins defense that usually dominates you when Tom Brady is on the field. What do you think they're going to do when Jimmy Garoppolo is on the field? And you're playing against a Buffalo Bills defense that can get nasty at times. I think of the 4 defenses, that's the one you may be able to take advantage of. But look, make no mistake about it. He was not sharp in this game. Everything that he completed was usually short to intermediate. When he went down the field, he missed. He threw a ball right to Luke Kuechly in the red zone. Should have been picked off. I think Luke Kuechly was so surprised that he threw the ball right to him is probably why he dropped it. And so Jimmy G, I'm not sold on this guy being able to get the job done in Tom Brady's absence. And this game didn't do anything to make me feel comfortable with him under center. Lack of a pass rush, okay? That was the thing that I talked about when they traded Chandler Jones to the Arizona Cardinals. I said, look, who's going to get to the quarterback? Once Rob Ninkovich had the injury, you went out and got Chris Long. Chris Long has been past his prime. Who's getting pressure on the quarterback? If you got to blitz consistently to get pressure, you're going to leave that secondary out to dry. Now, I will say this much. Looking at this secondary, that might not be the worst thing in the world because it looked like these guys can match up man-to-man and run with some receivers in this league. So you may not be all that bad off in terms of having to blitz, because when they blitzed on this night, they were getting home and forcing Cam Newton and flushing him out of the pocket. So when they blitz, they do apply pressure. But when you're just coming with a 4-man pressure, I mean, that first possession of the game, literally Cam Newton had a chance to build a house back there, and he could have had the house blown down and built another one. It was so much time back there, yet he couldn't find anybody because, again, I talked about that secondary and how strong they were in this game. He couldn't find any targets open down the field. But that lack of a pass rush, I think, is going to be the undoing of this Patriots team defensively. If they get hurt defensively this season and they give up points, I think it's going to be because they can't get consistent pressure without blitzing. And against some of the top quarterbacks in the league, you come with pressure and they are able to diagnose that pressure pre-snap, you're going to get beat, you're going to get burned. And so we'll see if that lack of pass rush is something that they can clean up down the road. Stephen Gostkowski missed 2 field goals in the first half, and one of them was a chippy. Like, I'm not used to that. Again, that's not something that I want to overreact to. But again, with Jimmy G at quarterback, you need all the points you can get. You can't be missing field goals because he's not going to be putting a lot of points on the scoreboard. So can't have that if you're the New England Patriots. Let's get to the banana in the tailpipe. And simply what the banana in the tailpipe is, for those of you who have never watched this program before, it's simply something that I'm not falling for. The banana in the tailpipe is the oldest trick in the book. Something that I'm not convinced of, even though it looked good in this game, or maybe it looked bad in this game. I'm not convinced either way. I want to see more. Stephen Gostkowski, not going to miss field goals consistently. He's one of the most accurate kickers in NFL history. That I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe of him struggling this season, or struggling, period. He's still a hell of a kicker. He'll be fine. And the biggest banana in the tailpipe for me with the Patriots, turnovers forced. Is this going to be a team that's going to consistently generate turnovers? I'm not sold on the fact that they're going to just get turnovers. Cam Newton was wildly inaccurate in this football game. And Derek Anderson came in and he wasn't much better. He threw one right to Harmon. And so I don't know if this is a team that's going to generate turnovers like this on a consistent basis. They've got the guys to be able to do it, though. I tell you that much. They got some ball hawks in that secondary. It wouldn't shock me if that's what they are this year, if that's the DNA of this team, generating turnovers. But I'm not going to overreact to what I saw. I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe of the Patriots forcing turnovers consistently in 2016. Let's get to the Carolina Panthers. And we'll start with their likes. Not a lot to like in this football game. If you're a Panthers fan, you want the coaching staff to burn this tape. You don't even want to watch it. You don't want to rewatch this. It's not. This isn't even a teaching tool here. This tape was just so bad offensively. But let's start with the good things here. The Panthers' red zone defense was phenomenal in this game. They gave up some yards. They gave up some chunks early on, especially on the ground. They gave up some plays to Chris Hogan, the first play of the game offensively for the Patriots. Some kind of defensive breakdown. Again, a young secondary, you're going to get those types of things. He's wide open. There's no one near him. Catches a in-breaking route, runs up the field for about 15 yards, 16 yards on the first play offensively for the Patriots in the game. But they got in the red zone and they buckled down, forced the Patriots to kick a field goal that they would ultimately miss. Then you had a Brady drive that got down into the red zone. Were able to keep him out of the end zone as well. Had to settle for another field goal. So I thought the red zone defense was phenomenal by the Panthers in this football game. Luke Kuechly, I always talk about players and teams and units that we overlook because of how good they are. They're elite, and because they're elite, we don't give them the credit that they deserve. He's one of those guys that is just around the football. There was a toss play on 3rd and forever. He gets in the backfield, blows it up. There's a 4th and 1 that he gets in on, makes the tackle, jumps on the guy's back, and then Kirk Coleman comes, gets his legs, stop him on 4th and 1. So Luke Kuechly is just a man amongst boys. Also, Shaq Thompson is an athletic freak. And I remember when the Panthers drafted him, I made fun of them. Oh, they draft linebackers every year in the first round, yada, yada, yada. It's no laughing matter now. This guy can play football. They knew what they were getting when they drafted him. It was only a matter of time before they figured out how to use him. And in coverage, this guy is elite. Saw him running with Julian Edelman in the slot across the middle of the field, step for step, in his hip pocket, broke the play up. Shaq Thompson, saw him with a one-hand interception in camp. This guy's a freak. You saw it in this game. And I think they're going to continue to find creative ways to use Shaq Thompson. I was really impressed with him in this game, the way that he was flying around. Devin Funchess offensively was the only bright spot in this game. 10 targets, 5 catches. Thought he was really sharp. Thought when the ball was in his vicinity, because there were a lot of balls that just were frankly uncatchable in this game. When they were in his general vicinity, he came down with the football, very strong hands. If he gets his hands on the football, he's most likely going to come down with the football. And so I was really impressed with Devin Funchess in this football game. I think he's going to be a very big target for Cam Newton in 2016 and beyond. Let's get to the dislikes. There was so much wrong with this game from the Panthers standpoint. The first half offense was putrid. You can't do it much worse than the Panthers did. And frankly, offensively with the first team, they were just morbidly bad in this football game. Cam's accuracy was awful the entire night. And this is what he is. You have to come to grips with the fact that Cam Newton is going to throw the football high. Last year, he minimized the amount of times he did it, but I think that's part of the reason why the Panthers love surrounding him. They know his deficiencies. Why they love surrounding him with big targets. Greg Olsen, 6'5". Devin Funchess, 6'4". Kelvin Benjamin, 6'6". It's not a coincidence that they got big receivers out there in Carolina, because Frankly, he loves to throw the football high. His footwork has always been bad. That has never changed. He loves throwing off his back foot. Because he has a rifle and a cannon, he can get away with that a lot of times. But because the mechanics is so bad, that's why you get the football sailing on him often. And in this game, he was awful all game long. Ball was high. Got Ed Dixon lit up. There were a couple of receivers running wide open, and he just was off the mark all night long. Then when he was on the mark, you had drop balls. Burson with a drop on a third down that probably should have been caught. It was a tough catch, but probably should have caught it. That may have even been a fourth down, if I'm not mistaken. Should have caught the football either way. You had a drop by Ted Ginn. What's new with Teddy Ball game? That's what he does. So you had guys, Dixon with a drop, would have been a touchdown when Cam scrambles out of the pocket in the red zone. Just can't have those things happen. So the offense was, and that wasn't even in the first half, that was in the second half. Offense just was not sharp on the evening. They had turnovers, the 3 interceptions. They took Cam out for a possession, put Derek Anderson in. He comes in. I thought, okay, Derek Anderson coming in with a little spark. He overthrows his receiver right into the arms of Deron Harmon for an interception. So they just couldn't get it together, and they just struggled offensively all night long. First half run defense. Very surprised that the Patriots had as much success running the football as they did in the first half. They were able to clean a lot of that stuff up in the second half, but again, just wasn't I wasn't expecting the Patriots to have any success, especially with Jimmy Garoppolo in the game. With Jimmy G in, you knew the ground game was going to be of the utmost importance because they don't trust him to throw the football, especially against this defense. And they were able to have some success running football. I saw Luke Kuechly. He was visibly upset at the yardage they were giving up on the ground. And he can't do it by himself. Thomas Davis can't do it by himself. They've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more stronger at the point of attack up front. Can't allow a team that struggles at the quarterback position to have that kind of success on the ground. The secondary, look, you know what you're going to get out of these guys. They're young. They're going to have mistakes. Chris Hogan beat Bené Ben-Wickery in the slot when Tom Brady came into the game. You're going to have some defensive breakdowns. I thought that the Patriots were able to move the football a little bit down the field. And the cushion that the corners are giving up on the outside, again, you're going to get that with these young guys. They tackle well, though, I will say that. But again, you're going to have some mistakes. I talked about the blown coverage on the first play of the game with Chris Hogan catching a in-breaking route literally 4 yards up the field and running another 13 unabated before he met the first Carolina Panther defender. The secondary is going to have to improve. They will as the year goes on, but expect growing pains when you put young guys out on the field. And, of course, hate injuries. Fozzie Whitaker went down with the shoulder. Hopefully he's fine. I do not like to see injuries at any point in the season, especially the preseason. So hopefully Fozzie Whitaker is okay. But not a lot of casualties from this football game on either side. Let's get to the banana in the tailpipe for the Panthers. And it's the offensive ineptitude here. Don't expect the Panthers to be this bad on offense, okay? It's the preseason. You don't want to show your hand too much. Cam was just off. He was inaccurate all night. And he's going to be inaccurate, but he's not going to be that inaccurate. He had time in the pocket. I thought the offensive line did a tremendous job of giving him time all night long to throw the football. He just wasn't able to connect with receivers, and they weren't on the same page. There was one throw where he threw it to Benjamin, and he was telling him to go outside, and he kind of kept the route going up the field, and so they didn't connect on that particular play. They just were inept offensively, but that's not who this team is. They're going to run the football a lot better when the season starts. They're going to throw the football a lot better when the season starts. I don't expect the Panthers to struggle the way that they did. I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe of the Panthers being this bad offensively. That's just not who they are. It's not in their DNA. They had a bad night. Make no mistake about it. But I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe that the Panthers are this bad and are going to turn the football over that much when the season gets underway. And so that's my breakdown of this football game. There were some good things the Patriots did. There were some good things the Panthers did. But overall, some sloppy football from both teams in this game. I'm going to check Twitter as I usually do at the very end. I'm going to check social media to see if anyone has any comments. And then we're just going to skedaddle. So I'm going to check Twitter right now to see if anybody has any comments. Remember, if you want to address the show, Louie Tee Live is the hashtag. I'm going to check this out quickly. And there are no comments on Twitter. I'm going to check the comment section on YouTube and see if there's any comments here that are addressed to me. If not, we will end the show and we will move on to the next game to break down, which will be the Cleveland Browns and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Looking in the comment section, I see nothing addressed to me. So if it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. Remember, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Keep joining me as I continue to break down week 3 of the preseason.